Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another 3D Hangout. I'm your host, Noe Ruiz, designer here at Adafruit. Joining me every week, my brother Pedro. What's up, man? We're back.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Pedro Ruiz, the creative tech here at Adafruit, and every week we come to share 3D printing projects featuring electronics from Adafruit.
Oh yeah, this is a show where we combine 3D printing, DIY electronics, smash them together, come up with inspirational projects for you folks. Pedro? Do you want to do coupon code, or do you want to show the...
No, let's go ahead and do coupon code.
Coupon
every
code,
week we got an
pay some bills,
awesome
folks.
discount code for you guys, so you can get awesome gear in the Adafruit shop. We got 10% off. Use the coupon code 10-inch Pi. A celebration of the portable 10-inch desktop featuring the Raspberry Pi 2.
Bigger than your head.
Yeah, very cool. So remember, you can get 10% off. I think we got the cheapest deal on any of the 3D printers we have in stock.
Whoa.
Filament, and of course the electronic paraphernalia to bring your projects to life.
Bad for us, great for you, so be sure to take advantage of that. How about we do some segments?
Yeah, every show we start off with a couple of segments. This week we're going to be talking about what are you prototyping?
Oh yeah. Then we'll do some layer by layer. Then we'll do the shop talk, and then we'll end it off with the Q&A where we answer your questions from YouTubes.
All right.
Okay.
Start off with what are we prototyping?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so last week.
Yeah, last week.
Off preview for this. This is the project that's being released this week. We'll talk about the CAD files in the layer by layer segment. But let's go ahead and prototype this week's project, which is your 2.2 Raspberry Pi. We have
right over there, we have live 3D printer view camera dealie going on. So what we're going to do is you're going to use your 10-inch Pi to sort of control the Printrbot. So this is the Printrbot simple metal assembled black, and it's featuring the zebra plate, which is a really nice sort of replacement for blue painter's tape. It replaces things like I don't know, spray paint and glue stick. We really love this plate.
Yeah, so the
we'll talk more about it.
Cool thing about this is it has the copper layer so that it works with the Z probe.
Oh.
So let's go ahead and switch the cameras over. We're gonna do the overhead so we can see what I'm controlling over here. Right. So this is Astroprint running on the Printrbot, and you can see that, oh wow, it does work. So we can do all the control through here, and we can even now do very awesome G code. So we can go in here and type in something like, G28, and it'll do your homing for you.
Oh, live printer, folks.
So that's pretty cool there. Of course, this is the update. I think it's, what is the version?
I think it's 0.8.1.
Yeah, if I go here, 0.81, so that's cool. Hopefully the exposure is good on there, but let's go ahead and start up a file.
Okay, so this is printing the front cover of the Pi 2.2-inch enclosure that's next week's project. So it's interesting that we're sort of using this week's project to prototype next week's project. So that's really nice.
And that's what this show is all about, always making functional tools using 3D printing to sort of make your job a little bit easier.
Yeah, the other day I used the gun blade to shovel. It's so useful.
Okay, so we're just gonna let that guy print in the background. We'll periodically check on that guy.
Oh yeah, right now it's homing Z. So the start G code is set up already in the file that we've uploaded.
Yeah, so you actually used Cura, I think, to slice this up?
Yeah, I did. Cura, it had a really nice sort of default profile. So now you can see it's heating up.
Oh yeah, if you can check out over
It's actually heated up a little bit. It's at 208.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, that happens. I'm going to switch over to the overhead, and then we'll be able to see a bigger view of us upside down. No, of the actual user interface for Astrobox.
Okay, so you can check that out while it's going, but again, jumping back over to the 10-inch Pi project, it's an IPS display, and of course, all of the websites look very lovely on here, like ours. We have a built-in speaker.
It's a fully fledged desktop, man. Love it.
Yeah, so HTML5, all that stuff works beautifully on here. So.
Whoa. So you can watch your YouTube videos on here.
Yeah, so video, HTML5 video works perfect on here.
Where's the audio coming from?
And the audio is coming from the back here. And one cool thing we want to talk about the back here, the cool little glow-like that we're seeing on here, just like the MacBooks. What's generating that is just the backlight display from that. So we'll go over that in the layer by layer in a little bit.
Okay. Do you want me to jump over to the print?
Yeah, let's jump back over to the print. It's going to be sort of, jumping back and forth sort of
okay, so it's doing its skirt right now.
Yeah. And of course,
it's very shaky. I apologize because
be able to
the tripod and things. So there you go.
Very cool, yeah. That should be done by the time
I like how
we're
the
done.
Printrbot's like shaking the. It's not a very stable table.
I think it's just shaking the phone.
And the
actually.
phone too, yeah. So it's gonna be like trying to do autofocus like periodically. But I don't know. We thought it'd be a cool test to sort of check out a live print.
Yeah, I haven't done a live print on the show in a little
In
bit.
a while,
so
yeah.
All right.
Okay, cool. So
that's what we're currently prototyping right now. Next week's project.
Yeah.
Using this week's project, which of course we can now jump into the layer by layer for this.
okay, let's do that. Let me queue up said tutorial. All right, Pedro, you're gonna run us through here. Give us a quick overview.
Okay, so as always, you can get the original files on our Thingiverse page, and if you take a look, you can definitely rearrange this any way you want. You can drop the components in any arrangement that you like, and you can access the library of all of our boards and simply just pop those guys in, and then simply figure out what the measurements are going to be. That's one thing you want to keep in mind is how far are things going to be away from the battery and all that. So you just got to be mindful of when you're arranging all this. But it's simple. You can just drag these in. You can use either 123D, which is for free, or you can use Fusion 360,
which is also for free.
Students and businesses earning less than $100,000, it is free as well.
Right.
So once you drop that in, the standoffs are included in there. So all you want to do is move those around and then merge it into the final case. And if you can see there that I have highlighted, you definitely want to add a chamfer to the bottom of the standoffs so you can add strength to it.
Yeah.
Of course, if you want to change your logo around too, you just go in there and just delete the faces for that, and it'll just close up that hole there. Cool. And some of the other things you might want to change around are some of the tolerances for like the speaker that's on there. It can change depending on what printer you're using.
Yeah, sometimes suppliers change their tolerances and things.
Yeah,
too.
so we're using the Type A machines, or you can use like something like a Lulzbot, Tazbot.
Oh yeah.
So of course, people are asking if you could turn this into a laptop, and we have the geometries included in there.
Nice.
It's already all set up. All I have to do is merge the little nubs that connect the hinges together. And then the only thing you got to do is get some measurements for whatever keyboard you're using and sort of make a little holder like I did for the libretto. I can quickly show you what that looks like.
Uh-oh. The video went to the next one.
Oh. So yeah, it's basically something like this that you want to create where your keyboard can just pop into. So that's the only sort of
Do you want me to
homework.
overhead it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
That's sort of the only homework you guys are going to have to do if you
More
want to
overhead.
turn this into a laptop. So this is all it basically is, just a little lip that just grabs onto whatever keyboard
cool.
you decide to use. I didn't want to use this one because it's so teeny tiny.
Yeah, we didn't want it to be too chunky.
Yeah, that's another thing.
Super chunk.
I had set up the hinges and everything, but yeah, man, it would have been a lot more chunkier than it is now. So
Last week we showed a project. Some folks put together.
oh yeah, a little mini
too.
laptop. Yeah, you can
so it's
definitely
pretty
check
cool.
out the blog and the show for that. But
Okay.
here we go, portable desktop 10-inch Raspberry Pi
Oh, yeah.
computer that you can add like a little tripod adapter on here. And actually we have one here so you can see what all of the components look like. I think I've shown this before, but here
yeah.
it is again. The only thing you want to be mindful is where you route all of your cables so that it doesn't block the glow on there.
How did you keep them out of the way?
It's just gaffer tape. You can kind of see
Nice.
it there, and just rearranging.
Yeah, sure.
You can route some of the wires underneath the standoffs and
Oh,
have
yeah,
that
I
to
love
hold
doing
it in
that.
place.
Yeah.
You can like sort of coil it around so it doesn't go over there, and
Okay.
you can totally customize that. Add any components you want. We even have a little Raspberry Pi camera in there, so you can have sort of like a
Little camera.
camera on there.
Okay.
So very cool. This is not a touch screen. We're trying very hard to get those. They're
Yeah.
easy to come by, but if you check this out, if you want to build yourself something a little bigger than this teeny tiny little
Yeah.
libretto.
Okay, well, cool. Let's do a quick check. All right, it's still printing, still chooching.
Very cool.
All right, we're gonna move to the next segment, folks. It's going to be this guy here, Shop Talk. Over the weekend, we finally got some stuff to make this guy work.
Yeah, so we are back to using the Autodesk Ember 3D printer, which is the DLP SLA 3D printer. So what had happened was that if you pause that there, the lifespan of the film window where
With the resin tray.
inside the resin tray where the light actually beams through to create the
This
objects.
is our build plate, basically, is the resin
Yeah,
tray.
yeah. Well, the build plate is actually
you're right,
on the
sorry.
top, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's actually like
The filament? sort of.
Yeah, because that's where all the resin is.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
So everybody's always saying, oh, you can print such high quality detailed things with this.
Yeah.
You can, but you can't print everything. If you hit play on that, you can see
An example
that
of
it got
something not
stuck.
working.
Yeah, so something that has such a big, pause it there too, something that has a big like surface area, and even if you hollow this out, it's gonna get stuck to the window. And we saw this when we were doing the BioShock the tube for that.
Yeah.
It created so much suction that it just got stuck on the window, and you were trying to print a D20, and same deal happened there. So
But
there's
now,
just some things
different orientations though.
Yeah, I tried one
hear
at the
this.
corner. I tried one just completely flat because
That's what supports, correct? I mean,
I
you
tried
print
with
it.
supports, without supports, and there's just some things that it just can't print. It seems to do a very good job at doing lattices and
Okay.
as we're going to show here a little bit later, the keyboard caps. So it can't print something that has such a large area like that.
Okay.
That's going to get stuck to the window.
Maybe
But
the
if
weight of
it's
it swashing around when it does.
it's mostly for something that are like Veranoy or like feathers or
feathers. I love
yeah,
feathers.
something like like orthodontists probably
Well,
would use this.
Okay, so there's the window. Is this the old tray that you're kind of poking at?
Yeah, so what I'm pointing to here is what it's getting stuck to, and that's the window tray there.
Okay.
Hit play.
Sure.
So we finally got a replacement in. They were having some supply issues in getting quality. I guess the windows that are in there. If you hit
They
play,
must have got them from their supplier, and they're like, it doesn't. No, we want
yeah,
better.
yeah. So
that's
as
why
you
it
can
took a
see on the
minute.
other side, that's kind of what happens after
It dries up and flakes up.
Yeah.
Okay.
One thing that I wish they did was I wish the
labeling?
labeling and all the leveling things that you're going to need
Yeah.
to see how much resin you need in there. They put ink on that, and when you have to clean it out, you're doing it with alcohol, and it's
What-
going to rub.
it
That ink's going
rubs
to
it.
rub right off. So I wish it was molded into the
Yeah.
tray. Hit play on that. So just a minor little thing there. Well, actually not minor when it goes away and you don't know how much resin to put in there.
Yeah.
This is what it looks like, and here's the new one. And hopefully this lasts a little bit longer now that we're not going to be printing anything that has such a big build area.
So this is the support material from one of the tests of the D20.
Yeah, so we can it's pretty easy to get off. It's just being held on there by suction. So all you're really doing is just trying to get underneath there and take that off, sort of like a suction cup.
Okay.
So here's just the technique that we use to save some of the resin because the stuff isn't cheap.
You strain
And,
it.
Yeah, just strain it through
Be
to
careful.
get because there's going to be a lot of
gonna be messy,
particles
so-
that go around, especially after a failed
Flakes
print.
and things. Very hard to see
Yeah, keep going.
inside there. Okay.
Sorry, I'm just using a strainer for that. And then washing it off with alcohol, which is super hard to not touch any of the ink
You
or
touched
even
it.
the window on the bottom.
So dab it up if you touch it. Don't wipe,
Yeah.
dab it. Don't wipe it, dab it. Okay, put it back on.
So this is the new tray that we're putting in here, and it just easily slides in. And the resin that we're using is just a standard clear photopolymer.
Okay.
There's a PR48.
Yeah, there's the
That's in
labels.
there. Yeah, there's a little minimum and maximum little guidelines for how to pour in, and it's pretty viscous.
It's like honey.
We've noticed that it performs a little bit better when it's heated up a little bit.
Okay. It's look, the fumes they'll make you do some weird things, like do this with a selfie stick. So,
Again, you got to
ventilated
use
room.
this ventilated room
With a fan. We
and-
had a big fan on as well.
Yeah.
What is
Oh.
this? Is this a tray?
Okay, so I had to design a lid cover for the tray since when we're not using it, it can sort of dry up a little bit and.
You don't want flakes to get in there. Maybe dust and particles can get in there.
Exactly.
So you
Yeah.
can cover it up.
Yeah. Even though it does have a cover, it doesn't completely seal it.
Right. There's still
So-
dust and fine particles.
Yeah. So you can get this.
great.
We'll upload the file if you have a tray that you
It's
like.
pretty big though. What printer?
So this was made on the Ultimaker.
Ultimaker, too.
Yeah, and you can
Okay.
see. You might have seen it on my Instagram.
Cool.
You put it on. So it just
Snaps
snaps right on like that, and it'll help keep your resin nice and fresh.
There's an update to the slicer. What kind of new things are we checking out?
Yeah, so the
here?
slicer is web-based, so whenever an update happens, you only see it when you're going through here. So we tested out a new resolution on here. It was the 10 micron option. Haven't tried that before, but here is
10
what the
microns.
slices look like, which is just a PNG with white and black. The white is actually what the printer is using to build up. So when the laser shoots out, it's just shooting a sort of the shape of the little white part for that slice.
Okay.
So here we're just leveling the head, or the build plate,
The bed head.
and simple little process. You just align it to the window, push down on it, and then lock the the head in place. Feels sort of like one of the photograph heads, where it just, it's like a ball head, so it moves around like that.
Cool.
And this guy took about 2 hours,
2
and
hours
40
and
minutes.
46 minutes, folks, because it's at 10 microns, right? So it's going to take a minute. You can see if you add too much material, that thing's going to swash around. Maybe.
Yeah, there's actually files available online, so you can get like sort of covers for where the motor travels around, so you don't get any. It's sort of like a splash guard.
Splash guard. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, cool.
So we actually
let this run overnight, right?
Yeah, we let this run overnight, and we do a lot of the stuff like so late. But here we are in the morning, gearing up to remove this guy.
Sorry about that.
And it just pops right off there. And you can see we printed, this was a previous project that we did before, so you can get all the files for this on our Thingiverse space.
Yeah, this is sort of making custom keycaps with the Ember. This is the escape key. Any reason?
Yeah, so I was cleaning out my keyboard, and I broke one of the keys.
It'll happen, folks.
Yeah, so I just made a new one. And here's some of the steps you have to do to sort of let it cure, so it gets rid of that tacky feel. Just putting it inside isopropyl alcohol there for about 5 minutes, and then remove that, wash it off. And I think you have some close-up shots here of the 10 microns. What does that look like?
Yeah, you gotta clean it up first. You gotta remove the support material.
Yeah, so there's support materials on from the stem, and one thing I did completely backwards there is you want to do this before you do the curing, since it'll make it just a little bit easier to remove.
Don't make that mistake.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah,
like
so you're definitely going to need, some Haku flush pliers to really get in there and get those out, and
some tweezers.
Some tweezers to remove that.
Okay.
You want to be careful because this will scratch pretty easily.
Oh,
so
you can scratch it with your fingernail.
Yeah, it's we really want to try out the tough stuff from Formlabs.
From Formlabs, yes.
We'll be testing that in a future episode.
Yeah.
We're just waiting for these freaking trays to come in so we can test other materials. We definitely want to test out the flexible material too. So just to see how those operate.
You kind of.
Yeah, you really want to clean out all the crevices inside there, since
it's kind of tiny, but
you can't really put some support material inside there, but it's well enough that it can print sort of in the air since it's connected to the rest of the geometry.
Sure.
I think you might have recorded too much of that, but here is some close-ups of what it looks like. You can definitely see the layers still there at 10 microns. So very cool.
This
and
what
here
the,
is
what
one
is
of the
this one?
skulls with. I think this one's at 25 microns.
25.
You can definitely see that, and this is using a macro lens, so you definitely can't see it when you're looking at it with your eyes. Here's another shot of that.
Some striations from the sort of the divot, the curvature.
Yeah, so you can't print everything, but we can print all the little tiny things that a regular FDM printer can't. And we can definitely print much more clear material than you can get off of any of the FDM filaments.
So, does it fit?
Yeah, so I had to do some adjustments, and people always say this on the comments somewhere where it's like, oh, my thing didn't fit. Well, guess what? You have to open up the file and change around some of the faces on there. This is the exact same file that I used for producing the episode, which takes about 3 months. So I printed a couple of these, and they all fit. And somehow the tolerance changed on whatever slice changes they did on there. So even I had to go in there and update the faces that are on the stem. So anytime you guys want to print any of our projects, just keep that in mind. You are probably going to have to go in there and change the tolerances. Settings and slices change, and wow, it totally changed on me. So I think I already did an update of this. The face change on it was by 0.2. So when you open up the source file for that, just go ahead and go inside the stem and then just push the faces out by negative 0.2 millimeters, and it should fit on there perfectly.
Okay.
So that is this week's
Shop Talk?
Shop Talk.
Okay. Let's take a look at the printer, at the Printrbot. It's like shaking it up, man. Yeah, I'll figure out the better tripod.
Nice and leveled. Everything looks pretty good on that little
trust
something.
me, it's not an earthquake. We're just, Okay.
Yeah, cool. Did we want to talk about a new material that we're playing with?
Yeah. So next is to go in line with Shop Talk. We have new materials. Overhead time. overhead over here.
All right, so we got some more Ninja Flex in the shop. This is the Semi-Flex, actually. So
Okay.
We did a video on the differences between that, but real quick, it's a lot more high resolution than the regular Ninja Flex. So you could do a lot of the overhangs, that bevels and overhangs, a lot more cleaner than the regular Ninja Flex would. It also has a more slippery type of feel, so it makes a great bumper case, so it'll just slip right into your pocket. And of course, it's transparent, so it's going to be very good for using any of the light diffusion projects. And you can tell here, it's definitely a little bit more sturdy, and it should work a little bit more better on the direct drive extruders.
Cool.
So a very cool material if you want half the flex.
Yeah. It's in the shop?
It's going to be in the shop
shop.
pretty soon, and you can check out the differences of the regular Ninja Flex and Semi-Flex.
Okay, tell people how they can get 10% off.
Use discount code 10inchPi during checkout. And it doesn't work on software or gift certificates, but you can load up on any of the 3D printers, filaments, and electronic paraphernalia to bring your project to life.
All right, be sure to get on that, folks. Okay, that was Shop Talk. We're going to jump into the Q&A. We're running low on time here, so we got to keep going. First question is this one here from Praxis Productions. Hey guys, was wondering about this project and am considering building one myself with a Raspberry Pi 2. My question is the HDMI port actually work? Because when you change the programming on the Pi Hat, Kippa, I think it's called, I think it removes HDMI compatibility. Is this similar on this? If so, would there be a way to switch off the TFT and activate the HDMI port once HDMI is plugged in? Thank you guys, and keep up the amazing work. Very cool question. We're going to do a live test and a live answer thing to show you guys a live demo.
Oh, actually, our
just
print
finished?
just finished, yeah.
Okay.
Check that out.
Well, let's jump into that, but I got to answer this question real quick. Yeah, cool. It definitely worked.
Actually, I think pretty cool. All right.
Okay, cool.
Well, you answer that, I'll take this off.
Thank you. Okay, so let's take a look at the overhead. I have the Raspberry Pi Touch project here and an HDMI, a DIY HDMI monitor that we put together. Both. Let's put that over here for a second. So let's turn this on. Should have had this on already. Sorry about that. Turn this on. So this is what happens when you have HDMI plugged in. Of course, the kernel is going to start up on the HDMI display. It's just sort of to kick everything off. And then once it gets to that part where it's loading frame buffer tools, it'll start on this guy. Okay. So let me open up terminal. So you want to have your Wi-Fi dongle plugged in there, and then you want to SSH to it. So you want to make sure that you have your Wi-Fi credentials all set up already. That's what I have here. And do you remember the IP address on this one? I think it was 48.
No clue.
180. Okay, so that's what it is. I'm logging in now. And
Do you want to show the terminal over there?
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, here's the terminal. And I think I have a different. Hopefully it's saved in there. Yeah, there you go. So you just use this frame buffer equals dev FB. So really what you're changing is a 0 to 1. So 0 is the PiTFT, and 1 is going to be the HTML display. So let me go ahead and do that. I hit 1.
The window so we can see it.
And then you'll see, hopefully, it starts up.
Yay.
Okay, so I did it backwards, my bad. So so the 1 is on there. I'll hit it back to 0. Right here. Let me show you guys there. So there's 0, hit enter, and now it's going to switch it over to HDMI display.
Very cool.
Pretty cool. So one thing I got to know is you can't use them both at the same time, but you can use this as the touch controller. It's weird that it's showing both things.
Yeah.
Oh no, and you can move stuff around, so you got to be very careful, folks. Be very careful. But you can do it. It's in the learning guide, the guide for the 3.5-inch PiTFT. It has all that in there. It's under the helps and tips section of the page. But that's pretty much the answer. I just wanted to show you guys, how kind of relatively quick you can do it.
And in case you guys are wondering, this is the 7-inch Raspberry Pi DIY monitor.
Very cool.
Which,
everything is portable here. I love that.
Yeah,
There's no wires hanging out other than the HDMI cable.
Yeah, so this will work on your laptop. Just plug it in through HDMI, or we're using it as a camera. Actually, this is like our everything monitor.
It is
we
our
plug it into
everything
our
monitor.
computer, we plug it into our camera, and of course the Pi.
Great for debugging headless type things.
Yes.
Okay. that was the question. I hope that that was the answer. I hope that answers the question, Mr. Parapalaxis. Okay, next question. Keep moving here. Okay, this is from Zen. Nice project, but wondering at the weight of the dice. How random is it with all those different components inside? Okay, so in Philby's guide, he definitely notes that it is not perfectly balanced, right? So it's not going to replace your like hardcore die, your hardcore die that you use. But it is.
It's pretty random when you
it's
toss
pretty
that
random,
around.
yeah. I was going to say, oh yeah, so it weighs 61 grams. It's a little bit heavy. Of course, it's bigger than an original D20. But yeah, it's not gonna. It's pretty good, but not exactly perfect. So again, it's supposed to be used as like a nice sort of laugh or a sort of a toy, executive type level.
One of the coolest things that this can be used for, everybody might have seen the tweet that Felicia Day had with the cool little Braille D20.
It's great for sort of accessibility.
Yeah, this is definitely accessibility. Also prevents cheating too.
Yeah.
So if you want to build, a cheat-proof D20, this is the project for you.
All right. Next question. This is from Connor Pookie. Is there a way to add an audio jack so you can listen to the audio with headphones? This is on the Raspberry Pi Game Boy project. Yes, you totally can. If you have like a shortened, or you can even shorten a 3.5 millimeter stereo cable with an extender, like has a male and a female on the end, you could plug that into the jack on the Raspberry Pi. And then cut a hole out on the side or somewhere where there's a room on the enclosure, and then sort of mount it in place with some silicone adhesive. Yep. That's what I would do. And I actually saw someone do that with our project. Instead of doing a headphone jack, he did the volume knob, which is really nice. And he 3D printed the little wheel for it, so you can adjust the volume. And that's a really nice feature. So
that's a nice modification.
Oh, yeah. Dremel. Sometimes you don't need. You know what I mean? Sometimes you can just Dremel it, man.
If you want to go into CAD and learn a little bit, I would definitely suggest that.
Okay. Well, very cool. Hope that answers your question. Thank you for that one. This is from Charlie Sheen. Does this work on the Printrbot Maker kit? I printed out and tried to put it, but it doesn't fit. Oh no, this is the NinjaFlex filament.
Yeah,
so we optimized this for the original.
So the original one had a different extruder mount,
a little bit thicker,
and the gear teeth were different. So I mean, this is why we tell everybody that anytime you build a project, you're gonna have to do some stuff in CAD, because parts change, suppliers change,
and they did in this one, yeah.
Sizes always change. Like right away after we released this video, we started shipping the new updated Printrbot Simples, and that's how it always works.
Anyway, I would recommend checking out the sort of.
They actually make a milled updated extruder. So it's the V2. We showed it, I think.
We'll have it linked below. We'll definitely have it linked below, because we run out of time and we need to get through it. But
works with NinjaFlex, okay, but definitely check that out. It's right on Printrbot's website.
Oh yeah, link below. Thank you, Charlie Sheen. Next one, this is from Brian Blank. It's a really long one, but we're gonna answer the questions. The first question is, would you recommend the FlashForge 3D printer for a beginner with my background? He's a developer. He's done some .NET stuff and just started doing Arduino and 3D printing. Yeah, the FlashForge is totally a great printer, and he also adds, he says, like, I don't want to have frustration. I want to, it's not a big deal to have dual extruders, but I'd like to have that later down the line. That is a great example, because when we first got our 3D printer was the Replicator 1, and that did have dual extruders. And it took a little bit to actually start using them, because materials came out. It really came down to materials in software. Big deal for software. Now with Simplify 3D and others, you can do things like the U-Shield and have a better UI and UX for sort of doing that with your two files.
He also had concerns over the fumes and particles in a non-ventilated room, and it comes with a whole enclosure. It goes a little hood on top, has a door that you can add. Might have noticed though that we took all that stuff off, since we always do PLA, and we have several of the HEPA filters around the house. Yeah. So.
Filters, definitely get an air filter like we have. You can pick one up at your local hardware shop.
Yeah, but it should stay in there with the enclosure. So definitely FlashForge. As soon as we get those in, we're trying really hard. It's
end of the month and we still haven't got them, man.
We're trying.
Okay. Well, thank you, Brian, for that question. Yeah. No, that's it. That's the end. That's the end, man.
End of the show. Yeah. Don't
forget.
That's the end
of the show. Okay. If you guys want to pick up a printer that we do have in the shop, like the Printrbot or the Zebra in plate, use coupon code 10inchPi.
Expires at 11:59 p.m. tonight, so make sure to take advantage of that. I think the cheapest place around the net to get some awesome 3D printers, filament, and all of your electronic paraphernalia.
Don't forget, Printrbot.
Printrbot, always on sale, every Thursday and Wednesday, so check out the shows. I'll leave you guys off with
Can you do it Homesy? I want to see it Homesy.
Oh. Let's see. That's going to take up time. But here is the prototype. So for the 2.2, which is really just figuring out if the buttons all match and align together.
Right.
So this is going to be cool. We'll release this next week.
Oh yeah, next week's
We're working on the guide for this. So
that's right.
Very cool. We're going from very big 10-inch
small.
to a little tiny one. Oh wow, look, here's all of the screen sizes.
Yeah, pretty cool, huh? Almost.
Very cool.
Okay, let's go back over here. And I will leave you guys off with some links. Hopefully that works. Yes, it does. Okay, if you want to check out today's project, it is on the Adafruit Learning System and many other projects from a lot of other folks from the team and some other remote people. Check out Google+, where you can sign up for the Show and Tell. And there's a bunch of blog posts that are up on Adafruit blog pertaining to 3D printing.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of customer projects we always share. And then you can follow myself and Pedro on Instagram, Twitter, and Thingiverse. We're there. We definitely want to let you guys know, start with the...
Each week starts on Wednesday.
Each week, yeah. The lineup of shows. There we go. The full lineup of shows starts with Wearable Electronics, with Becky Stern. A lot of cool stuff, a lot of wearable projects, fashion-forward stuff.
That's right. Cool
So
co-hosts. Colin shows up once in a while. Jessica
Jesse,
shows up.
Phil sometimes.
Yeah, so definitely check that out if you want to see more of Colin or Jess or Phil.
And Becky. Okay, and then after that, again, that was at 2 p.m. on Wednesdays. Later that Wednesday at 7:30 p.m., share your projects with Lamar and Phil, myself. We're always there. So is Tony D. Sharing projects, sharing retro gear, and whatever else.
Yeah, if you made one of our projects, if they come on, show it off. Any modifications you made to it, we're always there.
Okay, and then Ask Engineer, full hour of Lamar and Phil. You get to ask your engineering questions, all the news from Arduino, Raspberry Pi, and open source, and beyond. All right, folks, well, that's going to be it. Again, check out the coupon code. It is 10-inch Pi.
And again, don't forget Thingiverse page for all of the source files for all the projects that we shared today.
Okay. All right, folks, thank you so much for watching. Wow, a lot of... We'll be here next week, but until then, remember to keep on making.
Right? See you guys.
All right, folks. Bye. Thanks for watching.